this is an excellent opportunity to come to Northeast India to attend this conference on hill and mountain agriculture. So hill and mountain agriculture is not in isolation in terms of agriculture, but we have to include all different types of ecosystems which are in this region. So suddenly, if we look at the hills and mountains, if you look at globally, this is a very important ecosystem where climate change is having a big impact, because mountains are hotspots of climate change. Temperature rise here is much higher than other areas. So in this context, our agriculture has to be looked into the context of the change. The drivers of change is climate change. So in that, water is becoming scarce. Then some of the species are doing well, but agriculture production in some of the areas are decreasing. So all different problems are coming. So in that context, we have to really see how we build resilience amongst the mountain farmers. So when we look at agriculture, then agriculture has to be looked into a bigger landscape perspective, where there are forests, where there are wetlands, where there are rivers for irrigation, for building soil fertility, and more we are talking about organic agriculture. So in that context, more linkages between different ecosystems are very important. And then a huge issue when we talk about agriculture development, then we have to have a cross-sectoral approach. When I say, then we have to see agriculture with forestry concepts, soil, and then agriculture. We have to also see water availability and agriculture. So this is a very holistic approach that needs to be done. And I'm very glad in this conference we are having all these topics, and we are talking about integrating agriculture in a bigger perspective and lands perspective. And in my opinion, there are many good opportunities coming for Central Agriculture University to see from this conference the gap areas. And already in my presentation today on biodiversity and climate change, there are many areas that has come up to really work. Especially how we are going to ensure the food security of the people who are in the hills and mountains. Then malnutrition. We said we came out of food insufficient situation in early 1950s to food sufficient now, but still mountains in many areas are suffering. So how we are going to ensure food security? So the new researchers should be really looking into the food security, the malnutrition issues, how the crops and the food that we are producing in mountains can address that issue. And then finally, for the northeastern India, shifting cultivation is one of the practices. And in the second presentation, we were talking very clearly how we can see this as an integrated farming system, where it can look into the traditions. It can also look into the contemporary development in agriculture and the traditional practices, and merge and come up with this sustainable solution. So this is a very good opportunity that from many countries in this international conference, people have come. And I'm very sure in next 3 days, we will be able to come up with some very good ideas for researchers to take it forward, but also for development and planners and policymakers to take some message to really put into design and put into practice, and bring more investment in the mountains and hills for agriculture and other associated services.